Hi, and good afternoon. This is Sherman Crancer, Senior Partner Channel Development Manager for the Western United States. I want to say thank you so much for coming today to listen to us talk about, I think, one of the most important products out there, and one of the best products that you can actually utilize to help really build your business. And we're going to be talking about enterprise mobility plus security. We have a great special guest here that's going to talk about an incredible, new initiative that really takes MCC, beyond what we even originally, thought it could actually get to. And his name is Eder Izaga. The agenda today is pretty simple. We're going to go into our thought leadership portion, and that's really about helping, your partners maybe be a little bit more inspired, or, maybe think a little bit differently than you do on a daily basis. Then we'll do the special guest. Eder is going to be talking, he'll introduce himself, and we have some key thoughts from him. We'll get into the package of the week, which is going to fall in line with enterprise mobility plus security. And then we're going to talk about how to sell Office 365, EMS, and really the partner opportunity. Lastly, we're going to talk about a new promotion for partners that are using ConnectWise. It's an amazing promotion, some really, really big margins. And then lastly, we'll go into Project LeadGen commitments and then the summary. All right, so let's go ahead and get into, thought leadership. What is really thought leadership? And that's really about helping, our partners and people who are attending this call kind of think about something a little bit differently, think outside of the box. And what I wanted to do this week really was about talking a little bit more about, the Microsoft Community Connections program. Just kind of think about, let's get back to the basics, because I know that we keep talking about all this stuff about partner profitability and how to build your business. And I think sometimes we get away from Microsoft Community Connections and how it actually works and why Project LeadGen ties into it. So as we know, Microsoft Community Connections, is about providing educational content to business associations out there, right? And the basis behind that is to help you network more effectively, right? And in the past, it used to be, hey, let's sign up, let's register in an MCC event, and we'd send you a key, and we'd be like, hey, good luck, right? Let's go ahead and send out the 15,000 emails and get, the 4 people who show up to your event, and 3 of them just are there for the food, and 1 of them is a multi-level marketing person who really doesn't need your services. So really, the design of Project LeadGen is to help you utilize Microsoft, the Community Connections program, and use it to build your business at scale. That's what's really important, and really understanding how to approach sales and marketing a little bit different than you have done in the past. I was talking to a good partner, Ali, earlier today, and we were just kind of discussing, and I thought was really cool and a key insight. What we're talking about today is really different than maybe what you are used to, right? And that was profound, Ali. That was profound. We have a big audience here, by the way. E-Jen is in town, and she brought about 10 or 15 people. It's unbelievable. So. But Ali was talking about how, this approach, the sales and marketing approach that we're talking about and teaching is so far different than what, you're taught to do. And I think that's amazing, because in reality, that's the truth. You're taught to build an MSP practice. You're taught to, do a regional play. You're taught to, get a whole lot of people to, within a certain area, and you build up your, be everything to everyone. And the approach that I'm trying to help you understand is about taking that and saying, we have to change, and you have to become somebody a little bit different. You have to transform your business to take advantage of, some of the products and programs out there. So Project LeadGen may be out of your bounds, because you're thinking, gosh, what do I got to do? Why isn't this working for me? It seems like a good program, but I'm just not getting the results. And we have to look at it and say to yourself, you have to ask yourself really one question. And the one question really is, are you really sticking to it? Are you following the plan? Are you continuing to do sales and marketing motions around Project LeadGen and Microsoft Community Connections? So the first thing is really, it only works if you work it every week. Now, a lot of the partners here have sent out a whole list of emails, 20 emails, 30 emails, right? And with those 20 or 30 emails, they get 2 or 3 responses or 4 responses. Sometimes, for example, Akila Kamara, she sent out 20 emails and we had like 13 calls. I don't know why, but it was just unbelievable. And she's off and running, and we don't talk to her very much anymore, but Akila, you're welcome to come back. But most of us are sending out 20 emails and we're getting 2 and 3 responses, right? Well, in sales and marketing, what's really important is that you continue to do it every single day. You can't do something once and expect to have incredible results. You can't do it one time and then wait 10 weeks or 12 weeks and redo it. Tenacity, we talked about that last week. But this week we're talking about you have to keep doing something in a repetitive motion. Sales and marketing is something that you have to do every single day. Now, you may not do it the 8 hours a day that I've proposed to you, but you have to section out at least 1 to 2 hours a day. And with MCC and Project LeadGen, if you continue to send out invitations to a call that we want to get in on and help you get that relationship going, if you're not doing that, we're in a position where we can't help you, and yeah, the program's just not going to work for you because it's just too small of a sample size. If you think that you can reach out to 3 or 4 associations by itself, they may not respond to you because they look at your email and say, well, that person's coming from, ABC IT, right? Who are they? But if you send them another email and a follow-up email that basically talks about, hey, Microsoft wants to talk to you. Microsoft wants to talk to your business organization to help provide educational benefits. And then you keep going. So the first point is, it only works if you work it every week. Next, it's really not about Project LeadGen and Microsoft Community Connections isn't about doing just events by itself. Well, that's fun, and it raises your profile in the community, so there's a benefit to that. You have to monetize it, right? You have to figure out how are you going to make money off of doing these things, because you could do 100 events and not actually capture the leads. And what did you get from those 100 events? If we help you sponsor a big, huge conference and you go to it and you get, 50 leads out of it, what are you doing with those leads? So part of Project LeadGen in, I think, module 3 and 4, we talk about email marketing. We talk about a drip marketing system. We talk about how do you monetize events. There's actually a section in there, how to monetize your MCC events. But I think one of the biggest steps that people do not remember to do and partners do not remember to do is simply making sure that you have a sign-in sheet at the end of every one of your events. More importantly, I like to use the OneDrive Excel survey. It's pretty simple. And I basically give it out at the middle of every one of my events so they can actually open up their mobile device and put in their phone number, their name, their email and address, and then it goes to an Excel spreadsheet, which now you can take it and put it in. But the key step to this is, okay, a lot of our partners are doing step 1 and step 2, but then they're wondering, well, where's the business? Why am I not getting any business out of this? I'm putting all this time and effort. Then the question I have is, what have you sent them after? What email have you sent them? What follow-up? And that's where the drip marketing system comes in, right? You have to have your CRM set up. You have to have your drip marketing campaign set up, and you have to send them cool stuff every week or every month. And what I mean by that is understanding a key factor in sending emails. Nobody wants to see an email that has like a newsletter because all your information gets lost. In today's day and age with digital transformation and things going so fast, right? They want to read the first 3 or 4 sentences pretty much, right? And I think you need to understand that and then craft your email messages for that. My suggestion, and one of the best click rates I ever had, was I would literally put a great subject matter line, and then I would put 2 separate taglines and a link to like a how-to video or something. Never any sales. And it never, never said, oh, contact me for an appointment so we can discuss all of your network opportunities and events. And they're like, oh gosh, I don't want to do that. But what you want them to do is you want these leads that you've spoken in front of to want to open up your email. That's what's so important. Having them open up your email so that they remember who you are. You want them to see when your email comes in that they want to open it, right? That's the key. So there's really 3 major steps in here. It's doing the events, capturing the leads, and then putting them in the drip marketing system. And so with that drip marketing system, we'll go back to understanding, the level of commitment or level of interest of the people who are attending your seminars and webinars. And what that breaks down to is 3%. Now get this, if you have 100 people who come in to your presentation, whether it's on a webcast or as a big seminar, only 3% of them, and these are the ratios of a seminar selling, 3% of them want to buy right now. They have a need. They're broken. They need somebody, and they will come up and talk to you. Now, from 4 to 20%, those are people that have a need. They may not be happy with their current situation or current environment, but they don't know you. They don't trust you. And they're not going to be like, oh, okay, right now, let's do it. And then from 20 to 100, those are people who are in contract and they're very happy. But that's in January, okay? Now, what happens in February or March or April? How about some of those 4 to 20% attendees? Now it's too much. They just can't stand the person they're working with and they need somebody, but hey, wow, you're there. You're doing seminars in front of them, but you're also sending them cool stuff so they know who you are. That's how you make this work. It changes every single month, those metrics, right? The same 100 people in June out of the 20 to 100 who were so happy in July or in January, now we're in a position where, oh, my contract's up, I want to talk to somebody else, or hey, I really like the way that you've been sending me this great stuff that I can learn about and understand, right? They're going to give you a call. That's how you make this program work. If you just do events or you don't do events or you just get leads and you're not putting them into your marketing system and you're not actively sending them good stuff to remember who you are, there's really no point of this. And then the point is go ahead and spend a lot of money on advertising and whatnot. The beauty of this whole program is that it's a complete different way to approach business organizations. Complete different way to do that. Nobody else is doing this. And I think one of the most important things is that it's free. It's free. It doesn't cost you any more money than the amount of time that you put in. So that's how you make this program work. Next is, I always talk about this, dreamers always talk about what they're going to do, right? But leaders actually do what they talk about. And that's something I hope that you can take away from today and ask yourself the question, are you a dreamer or are you a leader? Because if you're a leader, you're going to do something about it. When we talk about partner profitability, we talk about transforming your business, going into more of a software-related, type of program, which now you can be repeatable, and now you can actually expand outside of your geographic area. Instead of thinking about it and dreaming about it, just do it. And that leads into our last point. Just do it. All right, what does that mean? Simply, every week we just tell you, it means just do it. It means actually get up and actually do it. So I'm always excited about that last point. But yeah, just do it. All right, so that's the MCC thoughts of the day. And let's go ahead and get into the guest of the week. I brought Eder on because him and I have been working on some really incredible things, and I really thought it'd be great for the rest of the partners out there to see, who Eder is and what he's doing. So Eder, could you possibly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do and what you specialize in and how long you maybe been a Microsoft partner?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Yeah, my name is Eder, and I'm a president of Microcomputers. I've been a Microsoft partner starting this year, and I'm very excited about it moving forward. We focus on modern technology solutions with emphasis on security and productivity and business continuity, and especially on Dynamics, CRM, network infrastructure, and and network infrastructure, and what is the other one? Excuse me, I forgot the other one. And Office 365.
Awesome. Now I've been very impressed with Eder because he's come in and he's taken the program and he's gotten into the program, and with some of the disadvantages that Eder have as far as being a newer partner, doesn't have a huge client base, that's really putting together. But I was really impressed because he took the idea of Microsoft Community Connections. He went through the program and he's made some incredible strides. I'm just so impressed because the way to get in and out of so many organizations so quickly is really impressive. So we go into the thoughts, thoughts for Eder, and what I want you to do, Eder, is can you tell us in the group how you were able to navigate your way into the Latino PBS and who they are?
Yes, I met the Latino PBS through a business conference. I attend to a lot of business conferences all the time, and then I met them through there, and then we've been talking back and forth and having some business meetings here with you guys, the Microsoft offices, and then now we have agreed to start 48 episode technology show that is going to be educational and how to teach business SMBs to use technology.
That's awesome. So, when you got into the group, you were basically, I think I brought you to the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, right?
Yes.
And then when you're there, I basically said, hey, Eder, start networking. I really didn't give you very much direction. Maybe I was too busy. I probably should have given you a lot more. But what I thought was really, really awesome was you went down and you met and you got on camera, right? Who did you get on camera with?
Yeah, I got interviewed by Maribel Serrano. So she interviewed me with was like 5 minutes interview where I have the opportunity to talk about MCC and all the great program about MCC and LeadGen.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know. I mean, I heard that there was somebody doing this, the partners, right? They're actually doing interviews, but I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know where it was. I was, talking to other people, and Eder found it out. And what I thought was very interesting about it, and I think it was really, really something that the partners can learn from, is his ability to literally just go up there and without any problems or issues, just confidently say, yeah, I'd like to be interviewed by Maribel. I thought it was amazing, and I watched the interview. It's great, and we'll send it out to everyone. So onto your project that you have with Latino PBS. Let's get back into that. So you talked to them. You got a meeting with us in the room, which, right, you put together, and you kept bugging me. You're like, Sherman, I got to meet with these guys. Why aren't you responding? Yes, I know I don't respond to just about everyone, but I really try. I'm really working hard. But you get to meeting with the Latino PBS, and it's the Latino Public Broadcast System. And we come in, and what was the purpose of the meeting, Eder? What was the purpose of it?
Well, the purpose of the meeting was to start implementing this TV show that we gotta do for next year, starting in January. So that was the main purpose of the meeting.
Great, yeah. So with it, so I'll break it down for everyone here. Think about this: Latino PBS, 250,000 viewers. Okay, covers the whole country, right? And they basically came in talking about Microsoft Community Connections. That was the guys. That was the reason why we sat down. And then when we sat down, Eder, which I think was amazing, basically kind of talked to them kind of about their own show. I caught on to that really quickly, and I'm like, yes, something, Microsoft really wants to help help this out and provide a community connections show. So what it came down to, make a long story short, is that we're able to literally negotiate with them, okay, on how to get Eder 48 one-hour episodes on the Latino PBS public broadcast system, right? And he's going to be on the show with Mary Bell, who was actually the interviewer, excuse me, at the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. But it's not just the 250,000, because the Latino PBS also has contracts with Roku and Amazon and all the different streaming services. So all of the shows will not only be on demand, right, on the Latino PBS website, but it'll also be on demand on just about every streaming service. Okay, so this by itself, I mean, that's why I think it's just so different than what we were doing, right? We were doing, hey, we'll do associations, but Eder was able to extrapolate and say, okay, here you go. We're also getting them involved with our SBA Tech Tips Hour, which is kind of an ancillary, and we are supporting it, and we'll record an intro to it. But basically, it's going to be Eder and Mary Bell, talking to this community. So I think it's amazing, and it's just so powerful that you're able to get that. That blows away working with just a single chamber, right? That blows away, working with just one association. I mean, it's just so many people come into that. All right, so let's get into the office mix question for you, Eder. Tell me your thoughts on office mix presentations. Have you recorded any? Because this is so important to this program.
Yes, I have recorded about 4 to 6 office mix presentations, and I already uploaded them into the office mix website. Okay. And then it's a very good tool so that you can create it, like you can add video into it, you can add different features. So I really highly recommend it to you guys, everyone.
Great, thanks. So the last thing is really, with those office mixes, the reason why I keep talking about office mix, okay, is so important. It's really about recording, and you can do them in 30 minutes. You don't have to do the full hour. 30-minute office mixes. Get all 12 of them. Because now you can take those 12 and you have embed codes, right? And you take those embed codes and what do? You tell the association or whoever you're working with, that might have 600 members but are only sending 10 to your webinar, right? You say, hey, put them in. And now all the members can actually watch you. And it's 24/7, 365, free advertising. That's step 4. I probably should have said 4 earlier on the thoughts portion, but that really is where this becomes super automated, and everyone in that association, in that target vertical, will basically hear you speak, talk to you, or hear about you, and then you have your contact information at the end. That's basically it. All right, and then what advice would you give, Eder, when it comes down to Project LeadGen and MCC? What is the thing that you've done and you kept doing repeatedly over and over again?
Yeah, well, I just will say that we just have to do it, like you said, So have to get hands-on and then start going through all the levels, because I think there's 5 of them, right? And then just start filling everything out, and then get to do it. Send emails to the associations like often. So I know we're supposed to do like 10. I have done more than that, and so I know if I can do it, you guys can do it too. So I send probably like about 10 associations every week. So that's how I get response, But that's how it works for me.
That is exactly the point. And that's why I wanted to bring you on today, because I wanted to show everybody that you don't need to have a big company to do this. You don't need to have a marketing staff to do this. You really just have to have some tenacity and have a priority. And that's Eder's really putting a big priority on this program. So good stuff, Eder. Thank you so much for attending here. So we'll come back to Eder in a little bit. So hey, let's get into intro to EMS. Because I feel like let's talk about some of the things that people are considering, and let's understand EMS. If you haven't really got it or grasp it. It's always good to hear about it a few extra times. Enterprise mobility in solutions, EMS, enterprise mobility plus security, really keeps employees productive, right? But also protects the company out there, right? The company that they're working for. In SMB, you need to understand that there really hasn't been a really robust security solution without spending a lot of money on devices, right? Devices like a Fortinet security device, where a lot of SMB doesn't have the budget maybe to do that, or even have the network infrastructure that would deem something that would be applicable to having a big security device, right? Maybe they only have one server, maybe they only have 3 programs, but they have a lot of confidential data. Maybe they can't afford it. So what really enterprise mobility plus security does is it really helps the small to medium-sized business owner secure their data and manage mobile devices and manage the whole bring your own device initiative that we're seeing pretty much throughout small to medium-sized business market. So now if you look at the top SMB technology challenges, you pull 100 different business owners and you come up with pretty much three things. So 35% of them have a problem with the cost of maintaining and upgrading devices and storage. 22% of them said our challenge is really about security. What do we do with PCI compliance, HIPAA compliance? In the legal vertical, there's a lot of different things that they have to adhere to. That's a big issue. In SMB, they're thinking about it a lot. And then lastly, 16% of them said, hey, we have issues around mobility, but mobility's blown up. And if you look at the trends on mobile devices, all right, laptops, these Surface Pro tablet devices, now you're looking at stuff that you're like, that's 16% is going to go much bigger. So these are some of the challenges, that we're seeing pretty much inside of SMB. So really, what enterprise mobility plus security really provides is really identity and access management. Okay, that's the main thing. Because what is probably the biggest hole in most security applications or businesses? It would be around the passwords that are being generated and used, as well as the identity of people in business. You see a lot of situations where businesses have 10 employees, right, that are there active, but they've had 100 employees over the past 2 years. And then you look into their network and you say, well, I wonder how many people are signing in. And they have like 25 people signing in. And you're like, wow, that's a big hole because you haven't been able to make sure you keep the identities, and the people who are supposed to be in your network. Next is really mobile device and app management. So using our Entune product, you now have the ability to do a lot of great things with the devices that are being used for your customer. 40% of SMB has a mobile workforce today. That's all going to go up. Okay, so what are they doing with those devices? Are those devices allowed to get into the network? Okay, what are the security protocols behind that? Well, the mobile device management piece of it will allow you to manage those devices and basically say, yes, to an employee, yeah, you can bring your own device, but we have to put this on there. Next is information protection. Some of the rights, are just fantastic. Being able to, send emails with rights protection on it, where they literally cannot copy it, they cannot forward it, they can't do anything with it. You can put them with the expiration dates. You can limit different types of, what type of content that they can actually see and view and utilize. But also, it really helps track the outgoing messages, right? The incoming messages that are coming in to your organization so that you can have a better understanding and a command of your workforce and who's utilizing it. And then lastly, it comes with behavior-based analytics. So it's really going to put you in a position where you can help companies understand how they're doing business, why they're doing business, and also highlight areas that could possibly be pain points or open network connections or open scenarios where the nefarious hackers could come in. So that's really what enterprise mobility plus security brings to the table. And if you're talking to your clients, these are the things that you're bringing up, because these are what we call the psychological triggers that are coming up. And it's really about what are the emotional marketing value words that you're going to be saying within your appointment, right? What are you going to talk about? You can talk about security. You're going to talk about the recent hacks. You can talk about the 4 companies who have lost millions because of, not properly identifying users on their network, right? We're using those things, and those are the terms. So utilize these 4 key points to help you, build the story behind the reason why even a small business with 5 users needs EMS. All right, so let's go into some pricing to kind of give you a little bit of an understanding. If you're to take Entune, Azure Active Directory Premium, Azure Rights Management, Microsoft Advanced Threat Analytics, it comes to $8.75 per user versus $17.50 for standalone products. So if you look at the annual cost based on 50 seats, because we all know that everybody here is doing 50 seats or more, right? You guys aren't doing 4 seats and 5 seats. You're all doing big business here. You need to look at it. Okay, so if you're going to do the bundle, it's $5,250 per year to manage it. And if you're doing the standalone products, it's about $10,000. So as you can see, there is a big difference. And now you have this ability to talk to even some of the smaller customers, the ones that are 20 users, right? 15 users, 10 users, because that cost for the standalone is still expensive, a lot more expensive than the recurring revenue. And then you can take this product and add it to the package that you're going to produce, and not just make the margin the 8 to 10 to 12 or 20% margin. Now you're looking to make the 30 or 40 or 60% margin. All right, moving into target customers. I think this is really important to understand, right? So who are your target customers? And it's business services, it's construction, it's financial services, as you can see down the list. So it's really pretty much all the verticals that we talk about. But who are they? And it's really the customers who are, the employees are using their own devices. Or people that are using, software as a service and, on-premise applications. You look for companies that have the distributed workforce, or companies that are responsible for confidential data. HIPAA, right? PCI, money, handling money, big thing, big problem, big issue. And this is a perfect scenario for that. And I just touched on the required to comply message. And now this is really interesting, and a lot of partners, I think, and myself included, so just recently, do they work with vendors, right? And what does that mean? Are they sending confidential email, classified emails, right, to somebody? And do they want them to take that email or that proposal, okay, and take that proposal and shop it, right? Or send, classified information that really doesn't need to see the eyes of the public. But managing that, I think, is a real bonus as part of enterprise mobility plus security. All right, so then let's get into the EMS Partner Opportunity. I think this is a pretty cool slide because it pretty much says, okay, what is your 3-year revenue for 50 seats? And if you look just at the product, you're looking at your EMS subscription and you're looking at $5,250. Okay, year 1, year 2, year 3. And that's just selling licensing. But we talk about this over and over again. We talk about don't line item sell anything, because it basically just puts you in the same company as everybody else out there that's selling line item stuff. And there's a lot of companies out there that will go deeper than your margin and you won't be able to make anything. So let's look at, okay, if we were to add, what is a 3-year revenue for 50 seats using project services? So the implementation, 70% of the license cost, training, 10% of the license cost. Now, wow, we're starting to make a little bit more money here, right? We're making the $5,250 plus the $4,200. That's better, right? But you're still competing a little bit. And I think where you come up to here, this is what we always talk about, is really managed services or creating your own IP, really. And it's doing the package of it. Third-party application management, support, help desk support, the tier 1 that we talk about all the time, and ongoing trouble and maintenance troubleshooting, excuse me. That's what the EMS Partner Opportunity really is. And if you look at it now, wow, $18,000, on the top end on the managed services piece of it. You put that all together and wow, now you're in a situation where you're really building a profitable business. If you're doing just licensing, if you're selling anything just licensing, even if it's just Office 365, your level of margin is so low, it's going to take you, 1,000 customers, to really, put something together. But now if you're looking at this, you're looking at a 4 times multiplier on the margin that you're making just selling license. Now, how many customers does that mean that you have to get now? Well, like 200, right? Or 250, something like that, right? And as opposed to the 1,000. So take a step back, stop dreaming about it, just do it. All right, so now you got that. Recap and motions. Now, this is kind of a neat thing too here is, if you want to check out Azure in 5 minutes, it's azure.msts2.com. Learn more about EMS. I will have this PowerPoint on project PLG Power, the aka.ms PLG Power, so you can take a look at that. And this next point is actually really important here. It's activating your IUR. I don't know how many people are using their IUR. Who here in the audience are using IUR? Okay, awesome. What? We have 3 people not using the internal use rights? Okay. You're going to start using them. Why? Because you can actually get to test it out. You test it on yourself. Test out. Azure is $100 credit per month. You might as well spin something up in there. The EMS might as well put it together. I know Eder too was just he told me this morning that he's definitely going to utilize the internal use rights for EMS. Right, Eder?
Yes, Chairman. I got to start implementing that. Because I already use it for Office 365, but I need to use it for the EMS part of it.
The internal use rights. Good. All right, package of the week. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is the package of the week is the reason why we talk about how to make more money here, how to make more margin, and it's not line item. It's not line item. It is really about putting something together that you're selling as a package. Okay, and we named this one. Now, this is not Microsoft is not promoting that you use this or saying that this is something that we put our stamp of approval on. This is just an idea. This is to help you frame your package. So I named it Small Business Security Prevention Package. Now you might want to make gold standard or whatever, and this is going to be your start. So you always have your MSP Tier 1 services that you can offload to a distributor of your choice, $10, $8, $12, it all depends what you do. Office 365 E3 software as a focus. Perfect. Now we're selling the license, we're putting it into the package, but we're not putting a dollar amount next to it, right? We're talking about and we're really in the package, you can, really talk about, being able to get all the downloads, right? All the software and whatnot. And, if you're enterprising, you might want to also, if they really kind of want line item type of stuff, you basically say, hey, you get 5 downloads of the full program. And what does a full program cost per PC? Well, it's about $400. Right? So you're looking at $2,000. If they're really looking for some sort of monetary look at it, you can use that, which will then completely negate any of these line item ideas there. So the next is, migration and exchange of telco services. I keep talking about this because I think that a lot of partners here are working with, referral partners in the telco and the broadband area, where it's actually quite simple to do. And we can help get you in touch with some master agents there. But instead of doing that, why don't you just do a small contract with a master agent, because they can help you make between 15 and 20% residuals just on an internet circuit. Think of the internet circuit, the fiber is $1,000, right? Well, that's $200 a month. How many seats was that to get $200 a month, right? If you're just selling line item licensing. So I think it's a really good idea to really investigate that. And you can reach out to me personally. I'd be happy to send you the right person. And then next is really the bundle piece of it. And this is what you really want to talk about is really, proposal for upgraded internet service, cybersecurity for small business. You're packaging this up. You might want to change some of the wording on it. Mobile workforce management, right? And mobility and multi-factor authentication and installation, okay? The idea of this is to try to create something that has emotional marketing value. Words will solve their problems, but get you out of the pricing wars out there, right? You have GoDaddy now. It's just giving, Office 365 to everyone, and how can you compete with them? And then lastly, you always want to put in training. Training is a great way to augment your partner profitability ratios here. Training. Show them what you know. A good question earlier was like, well, do you show them about office mix? Do you show your clients about these, other little cool things? Yes, absolutely. That's what you should be doing, because now your client really thinks knows what you're doing, but you're also helping them. You're helping them make Outlook work better. You're helping them make PowerPoint work better. So that's what it is. All right. So, we always kind of go into this big slide. It's got so much stuff on it, and I want you to read it all right now and memorize it. Right? No, we don't do that. So we basically say, okay, this is what we're going to cover real quick, because we want you to understand a couple things, really the customer needs, the market opportunity, and the partner opportunity, and then kind of understand a couple of the things that are inside of EMS. So, what are the customer needs? And this is where it comes to the psychological triggers that we always talk about. People are working across a variety of different devices from different locations, and a need to be consistent, clean, and have a fast experience. So we know that. We know that they're working across so many different things. There's a bring your own device scenario right now that is just being, is exploding. So they need that. They also need a seamless way to work, within their files and control versions. Now, the control factor is big. We talked about working with your vendors, right? And you need to understand that working with vendors, that you need to be able to control some of the things. You have secrets of your company, proprietary secrets, controlling that. So this is what the customer's thinking. How do I control that? Because right now, I can't. As well as, I have a department here that's working on version 427 of this PowerPoint. Like, why are we doing that? How is this possible? This is ridiculous. Let's work on one together. They're looking for a reduction in travel and expenses. So that's a customer need that ties into Office 365 and Skype for Business. And they really want security and peace of mind. And I think that is a psychological trigger that is really resonating more and more because of a lot more security issues that are out there, and the fact that now EMS is affordable. Security is affordable for the small to medium-sized business. All right, so what's the market opportunity, for this? 102% Microsoft partner mobile device management growth estimate over the next 3 years. A lot of our partners were not using Microsoft Entune before, but now with EMS pieces packaged together, wow, we see a huge increase. Mobility spending, now this is big, $332 billion by 2018. Everything is, the way that we do business with all the computers and the servers and all the things that are, just sitting at the office, where's the fax machine? Like, who's using a fax, right? And that's going to kind of be the same thing. And mobile device management is really, or mobile devices are going to get huge. 131% identity and access management growth over the next 3 years. And then 43% of SMB employees work at more than one location, which absolutely, highlights the fact of Office 365. Okay, so what is the partner opportunity? And this may seem that we've kind of, redundant here, but you can combine, a bunch of different products to make EMS affordable, but also one of those must-have items, one of those must-need items. You can deliver the mobility piece, which you may not have done before in the past, but utilizing and understanding utilizing your IUR will really help you build that. And you can capitalize on the growth of the SMB market with mobility. As we just talked about earlier, this mobility thing is huge. And so many organizations right now have this mobile devices in their organization, but they have no control over it. There's no peace of mind there. And then, 45 to 65% of the services earned by Microsoft partners. It's kind of a, it's the margins that you're making with other things. So you can, effectively, or, just sell the line item and then sell these other things. But instead of just looking at that, I think the best thing to do is, okay, hey, how are we going to make it a package so that we do get these types of things? All right, so with that, what is Enterprise Mobility Suite? I think we've already, covered this pretty clearly. Microsoft Azure Active Directory Premium. Now, this is a great slide. You should really pay attention to this. The Active Directory Premium makes the access easier for those who should have it, as opposed to those who should not. Right? Remember the scenario where you have 10 employees, but he's had 100 over the past year. And then you look at the network and you realize, wait a minute, there's still 25 people signing on, right? Well, What this does, and what being part of EMS, it allows you to mitigate that, right? So you can have the sign-on, right, to all of your, and access to all of the apps, right? But you can also control who has sign-on, who has access to all the apps. You can protect the customer data, with that, with the multi-factor authentication piece. And, basically with this, I think you're going to end up reducing the support request with the self-service functionality. But that doesn't mean that you're going to lose revenue. And I want you to understand this. You're not with this, because you're actually building this into your package, which is at a much higher revenue stream than you were when you were just doing managed services, when you were doing just line item type of scenarios. All right. Now, the Entune piece of it, a lot of our partners, don't remember or how to do this, but it gives the mobile flexibility that they want, because they can control all their mobile device management. You can manage the devices. You can combine Office to prevent the copy and paste functionality of all of those emails that we're talking about, and the remote wipe. I mean, how awesome is that, right? You can just, like a person who decides, I'm just going to leave. I'm taking these secrets with me. I don't care. And you're like, boop. No, you're not. Wiped. I love it, right? Boop. And that's the sound it makes actually when you do it. But yeah, I mean, the reality is that you can be able to do that. You can also, manage things a little bit more effectively. All right. And then lastly is the Azure Rights Management Services Premium, the RMS. So it's really, it's the sharing of data by keeping it protected. We've already talked about that. And then, well, I think we already reviewed this one too, is really, protecting the viewing and editing and forwarding. It was funny, one of our TS2s, Garrett Bundy, they did a workshop for us. And next thing you know, we're getting all these emails from the team members that some are rights protected, some are view protected, some are expiring, and it's like all of a sudden everybody in the whole, the whole team is sending all these right protected, emails, and you can't see this. I'm like, guys, I thought we were supposed to be transparent, but I think after you kind of use it a little bit, you're like, yes, okay, there are some scenarios where I only want this person to see it. And, you can't forward it, can't copy it, can't do anything. I guess you could take a picture with your mobile device. I don't know, maybe, but project managed or packaged IP, we kind of gone through this already, but the main scenario that I really want you to understand is really the packaged IP piece, and that really comes to, creating something different, right? You want to the insights to profitability is really focusing on access and identity management, also device management. So those are like the top three ones, and security. And that's probably the top four. Security is the big thing, right? So we just talk about security. All right. So let's go into project LeadGen next steps. Man, we blew through that. I'd like to, when I go into the next slide, if there's anyone that has any questions, you can go ahead and ask them, or if you think about them, I'll go ahead and do it. Project LeadGen next steps. So I know your head's probably spinning, because we just blew through about 27 slides. I hope everyone has been able to memorize everything I said, okay? But look, the top part of the hour is we talked about what you need to do, okay? Now, if you're new to the program, you're new to MCC, you're here because somebody said, hey, come take a look at this. What I need you to do is download the training modules. And the training modules are pretty simple. There are 5 different training modules, and each module has 5 2-minute videos, pretty bite-sized. And then we also provide materials that come along with it. This program comes with everything. It comes with all the PowerPoints, comes with all the emails, comes with the help from our fabulous, tele-BDM, EGen. She's here. It comes with help from us trying, to do that. But you need to download it, and you need to watch it. You need to go through it and understand it, because it's a complete different way to approach sales and marketing than you're used to or have ever really been trained on. It's a complete different way. And when you grasp it and you get it, then all of a sudden you're going to be like, wow, okay, I'm going to use Microsoft branding. We're going to have them fly in. We're going to be under the wing, and we're going to have them help us get into associations that we would have never been able to get into. And we're going to use their program that's about providing educational benefits on a monthly basis for us to build our business. I mean, the light bulb goes on, right? It's just like, okay, yeah, we got to do it, and it's free, right? So really, you need to do that. Second, you really need to focus on sending out emails, right? And we talk about sending 10, right? But really, you want to send out 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, right? And then you want to do it again, the next 2 weeks after, and 2 weeks after, till you get the optimal amount of association for you or your business. If you're a one-man shop, one-person shop, maybe 6 associations are yours. But now get this, okay? And this is where I think a key piece of it is really important, is after you get your 6, don't stop. Don't stop with what you got. Don't be satisfied, because now the next 10 or 20, instead of doing live presentations for them, what do? You call them up and say, hey, Microsoft's got a great program. It's an educational sponsorship. It's on demand. Here you go. Now you can just then move on to your next one. You collect them. You collect them, and you start. Now you're marketing to one association has 600, another association has 1,500, another association has This is targeted marketing, specialized targeted marketing that you can get, and you can utilize this different way of this program to actually get you there. That's what I think is important. All right, that's the next steps. Please go down, download it, and watch the videos. All right, hot off the press, literally hot off the press. We were showing this today, and I want to get this out to everybody. If you're a ConnectWise partner, okay, pay attention. So, and if you're not, I think it might be a good idea to call them up. Okay, so we have a 20% incentive paid on monthly CSP revenue on new seat revenue. Okay, if a partner sells in January, 20% is paid on a monthly revenue from January through June. That's 20%. Okay, that's above and beyond what you're getting already. It's significant. Okay, what you're getting through your CSP provider. Now you add this. If you're ConnectWise partner, this is the bump. If a partner sells in March, 20% will pay on monthly revenue from March through June. So you understand that it's not just you get the whole thing. This promotion will be in market for only from January through June. And if you sell in January, that's going to give you the highest payout that you can get from selling this stuff. The start date of the subscription and seat ends must be during the offering period of 1/17 to 6/3/17, and you must register with your MPN ID when you're selling, so that you'll be selling under the CSP. Only one MPN ID per partner will be paid against. Okay, so a couple other things to this. Registration happens November 15th and November 31st. It closes on the 31st in 2016. So you'll need to input your MPN ID. Pretty simple. I know I'm reading off of this because I just got it today. And all sales need to be sold to commercial US-based end customers. And the partner will supply the email, mailing address, and phone number. New subscriptions on new seats. And it's supported and funded by ConnectWise. And the payment will be a one-time payment only, made within 90 days of the end of the promotion. So that's basically what it is. So that's really the big promo of the week, and I hope that you were able to take a part of that. Once again, it will be on PLG Power, which is the PowerPoint, so you can review this anytime that you want. All right. Lastly, let's summarize. Eder, I'm going to push it back to you. You have your contact information. Maybe you want to say a couple words, at the end of the broadcast.
Yes, to all the partners that start using MCC, Community Connections, is a very good program as well. Excuse me. As also the LG program for making calls and following up, with all your associations. That's sending emails to everyone, and that's how I've been doing it through it. And then if you guys have any questions, you can always follow up with me too. I can give you some tips on how to network, how to connect, make the connections with those associations and things like that.
Great, thank you, Eder. I really appreciate that. Now, one thing that we're doing with Eder, and I want to extend to everybody here in the studio as well as anybody on the call, is we're going to actually do a lot of prep work before he gets onto the Latino PBS, and that prep work is going to be behind doing things like this. We're going to be working with him to really be able to project and show the confidence and the ability to be able to reach out and affect the customer. So if any one of the partners, or would you like to come down and learn more about that and get some tutorials as well as just one-on-one working, I'm happy to do it. We're really here for your partners, really here to help you understand how to build a really profitable practice. So, we covered a bunch of things today, right? We talked about the thought leadership portion of it, what you have to do in sales and marketing. We talked about EMS. We talked about how Eder really utilized just his tenacity and just getting those appointments with us, and is going to turn it into a monster opportunity, monster lead gen opportunity. And then we kind of went into EMS, and hopefully that you're able to take away from this EMS, how to potentially sell it and how to potentially build your practice with much larger margins. All right. So these are some of the links at the end of it. Thank you very much. My name is Sherman Crancer. I'm the Senior Partner Channel Development Manager for the Western United States. Next week, we are going to go back into vertical markets. We're going to kind of actually break down a specific industry. And not just talk about the idea of vertical markets. So we're going to break down a specific industry. Hopefully you'll understand that. And then we'll talk about how those verticals are not just local, regional, statewide, but how those verticals also become nationwide type of verticals. And if you build your package correctly, we can help you do that. So now you're selling not just to your local market, but now you're selling nationwide. All right. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you next week. Good day.